Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a remakeover on my Leopard Gecko setup. And here we got a new tank. It's pretty good. It's a wooden vivarium, it's 2 feet long, and for today we're going to be using some hides, substrate, fake plants, another hide and thermometer with a heat mat. So right now I just made a warm spot, and a warm spot is basically you get the heat mat and you put it underneath the substrate, and that'll basically be like a warm spot of the tank where your gecko can go into when the gecko feels cold. And you guys can also add like a hide on top of it. As you can see, the heat mat is underneath the hide, which will be a warm spot for your gecko to chill in. So right now I have a hide here. Now I might also add a second hide. So here I have another plastic hide. Realistically, the cool thing about making hides for leopard geckos is that you guys can actually just get like a small container and you guys can cut a hole into it, and you guys can flip it upside down, making a hole in the container, and then that's just pretty simple way of making a hide of plastic containers. And the ideal amount of hides for a leopard gecko would be 3 hides. So this will be a warm hide, that'll be a cool hide, and then you guys can also add like a moist hide. Here I just made it out of those feeder containers. I just cut a hole there, I put in some paper towel and I sprayed it a lot, and then my gecko can shed in the hide. And also guys, for leopard geckos, although they aren't so big, you guys should have a decent sized enclosure for them because they do like to explore a lot and wander around. So overall it's just best to have a good enough size enclosure for your gecko, and the best kind of tank you guys could have would be a wooden vivarium, as these are pretty nice as they look good and they give in a lot of the warmth. And if you guys want, you guys can also add some foliage inside, which is plants. You guys can have like fake plants or live plants. Here I have a fake plant. You guys can have both fake and live if you want. As leopard gecko setups, they aren't really hard to make. It's pretty simple and it's overall just simple to make. So you guys can also find another spot on your tank to add your moist hide. I'm just going to add mine here, pop it in the left hand corner, so my gecko can either go into the warm hide, the cool hide, or the moist hide for when the gecko sheds the skin. And for moist hides, you guys can actually use like sphagnum moss and coconut fiber, but I just made it pretty simple. A plastic container with a hole inside it and kitchen towel. Another thing you guys can also use in your enclosure would also be one of these hydrometers. It's also just a good thermometer so you guys can know the temperature of your guys' enclosure. So guys, as you can tell, I have just added the hydrometer on the back of the enclosure, so whenever I'm going to check the temperature of the tank, I can just look at it and it will show me the exact temperature. And if you guys want, you guys can actually add a lot more stuff into your enclosure. I'm just not going to use too much stuff so it will be too crowded, and overcrowding your tank isn't the best idea because then it'll be harder to find your gecko, or it will just be a lot more stressful having to take out every single thing when cleaning your enclosure. So maybe just add a few things, just not too much, but it's your way of decorating your gecko's enclosure. Also guys, another thing to remember is leopard geckos are ground dwelling reptiles, which means they spend most of the time on the floor, and they come from the desert, so they don't need a lot of water in your enclosure. You guys can actually add a water bowl if you want, so your gecko can drink, but most of the time they'll get their food and water from the things that they eat. So guys, I guess it's time to show you my wonderful female leopard gecko. As you can see, she's really beautiful. She's still pretty small, but she's doing well, and this is going to be a new enclosure for her. I hope she's enjoying it. It's also pretty good as it's not too big for the gecko, and overall she isn't too small, so it's the perfect size tank for the gecko. So let's see it explore. So guys, as you can tell, I've just added my wonderful female leopard gecko. She seems to enjoy the tank so far. She is exploring the place, and I see she's going right into the warm hide. As you can tell, they come from a warm climate, and she probably wants to go and have some warmth right now. So she's in the warm hide at the moment. Of course, she'll go and explore the other places as she got moved into a different tank. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, comment down below for any more questions and tips you guys need or are wondering about. So make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.